Good morning. It's the second day of Missouri's turkey season, and my wife Steph is going to be behind the Winchester this morning. We're going to try to slip in on a tom that showed up late yesterday afternoon on a Moultrie mobile. Suspect he's roosted nearby. I think I know where he's headed, but there's a fresh burn right where he roosted. So I suspect he's probably roosted right by that fresh burn, probably going to drop down, mill around in that burn, and then work back towards the northeast. So we're going to try to cut him off. Don't know exactly where he's roosted, but kind of got a good idea based on the habitat features and where toms like to move throughout the morning. So we're going to try to cut this tom off. We'll see if Steph can get it done this morning.
Quick update. We have a tom that's been firing off ever since he was on the limb, hit the ground. He's been going like crazy. He's probably gobbled 100 times this morning. It's only 8 o'clock. He's down here in this burn, exactly where I thought he was going to be this morning. He was roosted in the burn, dropped down, and is just going back and forth on a flat that's in this unit. I suspect there's hens there. In fact, have had 2 hens come out of that burn and feed. One went back over to the northeast, one drifted back into the burn, kind of towards that tom. So I have not called a lot. I've only called maybe 4 or 5 sequences the whole morning. He is fired up. I'm not calling right now. I'm just letting him do his thing, hoping at some point he breaks and fires up. But he's really looking and will then respond to a call. But right now, I'm not calling. Just letting him do his thing, being patient. I think we had him less than 100 yards at one point. You could hear that little rumble in his chest, when they get real close. He was just right over here, and a hawk started firing off and actually came, and I heard it land right above us. I'm sure it saw the decoys. It was squealing, and he shut up, just like a coyote running through or a bobcat. That hawk is a predator, and he went quiet for about 20 minutes and then started firing up again. And I'm sure that kind of pushed him away from this area, so hopefully that hawk doesn't come through or another predator. We're just going to be patient, see if this tom breaks here soon.
Chub.
Yes.
Good job, babe. Babe, we worked so hard for that turkey.
Did you just call him in? That's awesome. All morning.
What a morning it was. Day 2 here in Missouri. Steph just shot a heck of a Longbeard. Nice tom with the old Winchester. It is 9:16 and we have sat here all morning. We listened to this bird on the roost, probably 250, 300 yards. And he pitched down, and all morning, I mean, there was like a 30-minute stretch we didn't hear him gobbling. But the whole morning he was just gobbling, and it was so tempting. so tempting to get up, work around, and try to get on this bird. He dropped down in this burn, and there's a flat down there. Right out in front of us, we're actually on an old road that ties into a utility easement power line. And he was in the burn and the power line all morning, just going back and forth, north and south, north and south. He'd get close, he'd go back. He'd get close, he'd go back. And I think I called maybe 5 times all morning. And you could just tell he was gobbling at everything. He was so fired up, even on the limb. Every crow, he was gobbling. Dog bark, he'd gobble. And then there were sirens around, he'd gobble. At one point this morning, he was probably within 100 yards. Close enough you could hear that thunder in his chest. Not just the gobble, but you could hear it in his chest. About that time, I told Steph, I said, he's coming. And a hawk fired off to our north, and he gobbled. And the hawk went again, and he gobbled. And that hawk came over, and actually I could hear its wings. I think it landed right above us, and I'm sure it saw our decoys. In fact, a couple years ago, one of the team members shot a tom, and a hawk flew down on top of the tom right after he shot it. Those hawks are predators, and we actually had a hawk take out a decoy a couple years ago. Grant and I were hunting, and Tom was actually coming in, and boom, hear a thump, and it was a hawk taking out the decoy. So that hawk came up right behind us, and he shut up. He went quiet for 30-40 minutes. Didn't hear him, and I was like, man, he's gonna cool off, and it's gonna take some time to get him fired back up. And sure enough, he started gobbling again, started going back and forth, back and forth. There was actually 2 toms. I never saw the second one, but eventually they came in and they got to about 100 yards and kind of hung up and were gobbling like crazy, and they just would not come. And so I started doing some real soft purring. Then I started hearing them spitting and drumming, and then I saw one of the toms break off. I could actually, as this tom came in, the second tom was probably below us 50 yards. I could hear him spitting and drumming. I could not see him, but I could hear him. Once he came in, he turned, he locked on those decoys, and you just see his fan. He just turned, he's like, and he came right in. And I know, Steph, you were thinking, oh, when's Daniel gonna let me shoot?
I was like, how about now? You're like, wait, how about now? Wait.
I wanted to see what he was gonna do to that old Jake decoy from Cabela's, and he put a whooping on him.
Yeah, they're both down.
Oh man. Actually, I could not get a stake in the ground this morning, and we actually have some PVC stands we made, and the Jake kept tipping over. My sizes are a little off balance for that Jake, so he kept tipping over, so I was like, I'm just gonna have to set them both on the ground. This is Steph's second turkey. She tagged one a couple years ago. It was a shorter, faster hunt. Off camera, we didn't show that, but it was fast. The old 20 gauge, Longbeard TSS. The TSS has such a great pattern. We backed off the decoys a little bit. I think we're probably somewhere between that 25 and 30 yards here, because it has such a tight pattern. I don't want that really tight pattern for Steph, because let's just back off a little bit and get that pattern open up just a hair. But I mean, it just absolutely smashed that tom. So, you ready to go put your hands on him and check him out?
I think so, yeah. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Here's our setup. I cut out a couple limbs off these cedar trees. Of course, had the sun to our back, and right there, old logging road, and then power line and the burns over here. So, all right, let's go check her out.
Oh, wow. He's big.
He's got a good beard, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, it's a big bird. It's a big bird.
A 30-pounder?
25?
He's a big bird.
It's a big bird.
See little spurs. Well, here he is. Steph's tom is on the ground. This tom finally broke out of this burn. In fact, right behind us, in this little strip of timber right here, we have a Moultrie mobile. And yesterday afternoon, 7:30, little before 8, there was a big tom just strutting right in front of the Moultrie mobile. And knew that tom probably wasn't going to be far. It was getting ready to roost, kind of staging up. And right behind us here, this is an area that we had prescribed fire back in, I want to say February. We felled all the cedars in this unit, slashed them down, had really good consumption. So it's a black area, real easy for toms and turkeys to bug through there, find food. It's open. Right over our shoulder here, up on top of the ridge, is an area that we haven't burned, and there's a bunch of felled cedars, so it's a lot of structure, really good cover right now for hens that are wanting to nest. We're kind of right on the edge of where hens could be nesting, and this fresh burn, great food source for bugging. So food, cover, hens can drift back and forth here, and makes sense why these toms were in here and roosted here this morning and have just been going back and forth all morning. In fact, we saw 2 hens come out of this burn and headed back over here to the cover. So that's kind of the strategy, how we use the habitat this morning. And then it was just a patience game. It would have been really easy for us to just get up and say, hey, let's go. And we even talked about that, but we were just going to be patient. Didn't want to do a lot of disturbance on this portion of the farm. Just wanted to wait and see if these birds would break. Sure enough, with this habitat, being patient, and just calling a little bit and making the right calls when we needed to, we got fresh turkey on the ground. So we're gonna clean this puppy up. Steph's got some recipes she's wanting to try.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We're gonna try some wild turkey recipes, and it'll be good eating and good memories. What an exciting and thrilling morning here in creation. Doesn't always go like you planned, and sometimes you gotta be patient, but that's all part of it. Sure enough, this morning we were blessed with a beautiful hunt, beautiful tom. Just couldn't be more thankful to spend the morning in creation with Steph, my lovely wife, and just so thankful for her. Do you like deer hunting or turkey hunting more?
Well, after I shot him, I think I got a surge of adrenaline, which happened the first time too. So probably turkey hunting. It's a little more intense. It's just faster, quicker, and more patience. So I do like deer hunting though too, but turkey hunting apparently is just way more exciting and quick. So yeah.
Easy pack out for me. I hope you're able to get outside this week and enjoy creation for yourself or maybe with someone. But no matter what, make sure you slow down, listen to the Creator and the purpose He has for your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.